said, I am pleased that this bill, and the minister has brought this Bill 64, the Capital Regional Transportation Authority, before the legislature. I will once again say, though, that as I have said before, there's a lot of work that needs to be done with respect to this bill. There's a lot of time left as well, Mr. Speaker, and the Honourable Minister is aware, and I'm sure the Honourable Minister will be making dutiful notes with respect to those witnesses who come before the Law Amendments Committee, with respect to those requests and those particular needs that need to be addressed in this bill. I have to say, Mr. Speaker, I want to dwell around the most important part of this legislation, if it can be, and that's the right of the Capital Transportation Authority to be able to do the prioritizing. We often hear members of this Legislative Assembly talk about how prioritizing of roads take place and why did my road or my street or something get improved or get repaired, or did you get a new street because what was the policy? What was how did we prioritize those issues? Well, this in fact there will be a way of defining and prioritizing these particular modes of transportation, these particular road improvements, the particular highways that need to be done. There will be a way of putting those into order, Mr. Speaker, and that makes this a significant role by which the Capital Transportation Authority will take the muddling out, if I can use that term, of both levels of government from having an active role in the process for political reasons. It certainly will be enlightening to Nova Scotians to know that at least, Mr. Speaker, that there is something that they can look forward to coming forward, and that in fact that they will be able to know that it has been a legitimized process, and that in fact their particular issue or their street came to being, or development, highway development, or in fact mode of transportation came into being because of not political involvement, but because of need. And as I've said, this is a long road. I've talked about public transportation, the forms and the modes of public transportation, high-speed rail. I've talked about subways. I've talked about the need of ferry transportation. I've talked about the need for bridge linkage. I've talked about, not only tunnels, overpasses. I think that I've talked about everything that you could possibly imagine that would be under the role of the Transportation Authority. Mr. Speaker, there's a number of issues, but I didn't talk about. I certainly didn't talk about another mode of transportation, and rather that would be a very good, important role of the Transportation Authority. Public transportation, such as bicycles, right-of-ways for bicycles to have access, roads and the highway. The importance of making sure that happens. If in fact there is a specially designed means for motorcycles, or specially designed needs for new vehicles that are now coming out.
Thank you. The honourable member's time has expired. The honourable member for Sackville-Cobequid.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a pleasure for me to stand and talk for a brief moment on Bill 64, an act to establish a transportation authority for the capital region. Growing up here in HRM, if you want to say, or in Sackville, part of the municipality of Halifax here, transportation is always important, especially with Sackville being on the, I would say, the outside boundaries to the municipality here. Many of our residents, and I'd beg if I'm wrong on the estimate of residents, but 50, 60,000 people out in my community, a large majority of them travel into the inner core here, into the city. And transportation is always an issue with them. I've heard a lot about it over the last 9 months when it comes to transportation and the need to address it and the need to upgrade what we have today. And they do have some concerns, and our caucus has concerns with this bill. And like the member, my good member from Dartmouth North mentioned in his remarks about the mandate of the authority and the makeup or who is going to be on this, the structure of it. I've had people in my community come up to me and they're skeptic, or they have questions about when government brings in new legislation, especially when it pertains to transportation, creating a new body, if you want to say, and is it needed, or is it going to be an authority that's going to consume a lot of their tax dollars? This is a big issue, especially with the revenue that the government takes in today with the gasoline tax, which is on the rise, and the cost of fuel. So a lot of people in my community especially have come to me wondering what this bill was proposed, what's in this bill, and I couldn't tell them a whole lot, Mr. Speaker. It's very broad. There's not a lot of information here on what it all entails. And out in Sackville, we have a large area that use Metro Transit, for example. Right outside my constituent office, I have a depot or a bus terminal, which a lot of people go park their cars and get on the buses to come into the city. I remember going to school at St. Mary's, still living in Sackville because of the cost involved in living in the city and having to take the public transportation, the buses into the city. It takes a lot of your time. They have improved some over the years. They have increased the routes and the expressways. But I remember an hour and a half, if not longer, for me to come from my home into the city here. And the people are concerned of it's eating up a lot of their time, transportation, getting in and out of the city. They just want to come to work, put a good day's work in, and get home to their families. So they are concerned a little bit with what this bill doesn't have in it, and are really sitting, waiting to see what happens, and what, if this goes to law amendments, what kind of recommendations they see. Hopefully I encourage people that have come to me, the workers of say, Metro and Transit. I have a lot of residents that work for the Metro Transit and are concerned with this authority coming into effect and the possibility of maybe reducing the number of jobs. They just don't know. There's a lot of questions, a lot of concerns when we talk about a new authority overseeing transportation, because there's a lot of parts to it in HRM here, and they are only concerned with what the potentials or the ramifications of what will happen, and I have to agree with them. I would be somewhat concerned if I worked in that field and wondered, realizing that there's a proposed bill that might change the way things are run in HRM. Some examples, like the member from Dartmouth East said earlier, or Dartmouth North, sorry, Dartmouth North. Going to other cities around, even in Canada, down the States, Toronto, for instance. I was up there in October, and it's amazing that you can leave your hotel room, get a chit or pay a toll, get on public transportation, go to a sporting event, go to theater performances or festivals, and all you need is that one ticket. You get on there, you know you're going to arrive there. Here in HRM, it's quite a complex system. Thinking if you're coming from Sackville and you want to go to Eastern Passage, I don't even believe you can get that route. Or if you want to go from downtown Halifax to Dartmouth, you really need to look at what the transportation offers you and try to figure out what's the best route. In these larger cities, they've really made an effort on providing important transportation modes for the residents, and I think I hope with the authority, if it is formed, that they will really look at what other provinces, other states, other cities have done to address the issues of transportation. Because I don't know, Mr. Speaker, if you've noticed coming into the city, you can always tell when there's an event going on, because the traffic is unbelievable. Both bridges are clogged, especially the downtown core here. If you see an event at the Metro Centre, it's amazing on how quickly our city can get bogged down when there's an event on if there's an accident. For example, even the people that travel long distances, say to the valley. I witnessed when that artery in Sackville and Bedford coming off the Bay High was cut off for a while when we had a propane truck overturned there. It was really a chaotic environment for a day or so when that happened. So I hope that with this authority, or the forming of this, that they will really look at what's been going on around us in other provinces, other regions in our province and in the country. Another thing that we've heard a lot about over the last several years is a fast commuter train. In my riding, I know the rails go right through our community, and this would be a perfect opportunity to get people from the outer cores into the city quickly, efficiently, and at a good cost. And I think the people out in my area would really appreciate a serious look at this. But like I say, they are wondering what this whole bill is really pertains to, and I don't have a lot of answers to them reading this, and I hope over the next little while with debating on this and some recommendations from law amendments that I can clarify a little bit more on what their mandate is and the structure of this authority. The other thing they're wondering is should the government look at creating this authority for the capital region, or should we take our resources, or put in resources into creating a new authority, or should we take those resources and maybe allocate them to the municipality, to HRM, to have them look at maybe upgrading some of their modes of transport throughout this area? I mean, we have a large area to cover here in HRM, from Ecum-Secum to Hubbards. I've traveled many times responding throughout the municipality and realized the different needs of the different communities when it comes to transportation. And I think the residents, the people that pay taxes, the people that pay our salaries, the people that pay for a lot of the infrastructure that is spent in our province are concerned with, is this really needed at this time, or can we, transfer or show that our money is better spent somewhere else? So we do have some concerns with this, but I look forward to seeing what they say in law amendments and any amendments to this. And I want to thank you for your time. So I move adjournment of debate on Bill 64. Sorry, Mr. Speaker.
Your debate on Bill 64. Is agreed? Motion is passed. The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I was wondering if I could have the consent of the House to revert to the order of business reports of committees.
Is it agreed? Revert to order of business reports of committees.
Speaker, the chairman of the Committee on Law Amendments directs me to report that the committee has met and considered the following bill. Bill number 73, an act respecting the administration of justice. The committee recommends this bill to the favorable consideration of the House with certain amendments.
Order this bill before the Committee of the whole House on Bills. The Honourable Government House Leader.
Speaker, further to Bill 73 being returned from the Law Amendments Committee, I would ask that the House move that bill into Committee of the whole House on Bills today.
Is it agreed? Agreed. The Honourable Government House Leader.
I move that you do now leave the chair and the House resolve in the Committee of the whole House on Bills.
Agreed? Motion is carried.
Recognize the Government House Leader.
Speaker, would you please call Bill number 73, an act respecting the administration of justice?
Bill number 73. Bill number 73. An act respecting the administration of justice. Shall the title carry? Shall the clauses carry? Carried. Shall the bill carry? The bill's carried. Yeah, the Minister, the Government House Leader.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move that the committee do now rise and report this bill.
Do you want me to sign?
Chairman of the Committee of the Whole House on Bills reports.
The committee has met and considered Bill 73, and the chair has been instructed to recommend it to the House favorably without amendment.
Is it agreed? Will this bill be read a third time at a future date? The Honorable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move the House to now rise to meet again on the morrow at the hour of 12 noon. The House will sit from 12 until 8 p.m. The order of business following the routine business and the question period will be public bills for second, third reading or in committee of the whole House. Speaker, move the House to now rise.
Motion is the House adjourned to 12 noon tomorrow. Is it agreed? All those in favor say aye. Countermanded nay. The motion is carried. Order, please. There was a meeting set for 6 p.m. that we'll dispose of for today, and because I'm sure, unless the members are willing to. Okay, we'll talk about it after then. Okay, House adjourned to 12 noon tomorrow.